Okay, for Lesson 6 in HTML 101, we will be working with text formatting. I'll go ahead and show you the objectives for this lesson. You will know how to format text so as to make it bold, which I believe we've already done that. Make it italic, emphasized, marked, small, deleted, important, subscripts, superscripts, and important text. Now, to do this, we're going to go ahead and start with a blank note page or a notepad. And the reason I want to do that is I want to give you a moment to see if you remember what we've done so far. So if you remember correctly, we must open our HTML. We go ahead and open our head. We're going to go ahead and put in the title. Let's call this text formatting. And then close our title, and we'll go ahead and close the head. Then we want to go ahead and start our body, and we want to insert a paragraph. This text is, let's put as a sentence here. So let's start with bold since we already know that. This text is bold. Close that and close our paragraph. Go ahead and we'll close our body and close our HTML. And we're going to save this as text formatting in our folder. So File, Save As. Let's get to it. In my HTML, call it text formatting .html, and I'll change that here. Say all files. Say save. Now if you'll jump back out there and open up your web page, we should have, if I did everything correctly, and you know, sometimes I miss a spot, we should have a page that has, sure enough, this text is bold. It's called text formatting, and we can move on from here. Let's go ahead and just copy paste this paragraph. And we will say, let's make this an I for italic. And let's say, we'll type the word italic so you'll remember, italic. File, save. And you'll see that that text, sure enough, was made italic. Let's jump back over here and see what we've kind of done. We can get rid of those two. And let's do subscript. So we'll go ahead and pop in here and superscript. We'll go ahead and pop this back in. Hit Control C and copy that, and then Control V. Might as well put another one in real quick. This text is almost typed in subscript, but we'll put in subscript and stop that tag, and we'll make this superscript. Type super here, as you see, subscript, superscript. Say file, save. And you can see the subscript is lower in the line and smaller, and this is higher in the line. Good place for using that, maybe something such as PX to the second power equal 4. That's just good enough. Say file save. And you can see how that kind of put it in to look more like a mathematical equation. Okay, we've done subscript and superscript, so let's see what else we need to learn about. Jump back over here to our lesson. We'll get rid of those. Strong and EM both are emphasizers of, no, strong is more to make it important, and emphasize is what makes it look important. So we'll look at both of those together real quick. Copy that. Paste it. Paste it. We'll put the EM here. Type in the word emphasized. And we'll type in strong. I don't think you'll see a lot of difference between some of these, but we'll go ahead and do them to see what happens. That way you know, depending on the browser you're using, you may see a bigger difference than what I might see. File, save. Emphasized is italic. It looks to be maybe a little tighter on mine, and strong looks a lot more like bold. But that's just two ways of doing things. And then we can pop back over here and see what we haven't done yet. We've done those. Small, mark. Let's try small and mark. And we will this text is small. And this text, I'm just going to say is mark because I'm not quite sure what it'll do. And we may come back and change that to make it make more sense. So let's just look at it real quick. It's highlighted. Absolutely, that's cool. And if you notice, this text is small. It's like subscript, but it still is centered in the line. So we could go back in here to make that look better. Smaller than the text around it. And this text is highlighted. Let's say file save. That way when you go back and just open up your page, you'll know what you're looking for. And you notice this is smaller than the text around it. So we can pop back into our lesson. We've done the marking, and we've done small. I think that this will insert something, and this will delete something, but I'm not quite sure how they will appear either, so let's go ahead and do that. Let's pop in here. I'm going to just copy those with the Control-C, hit Control-V. This text is, let's say, let's hope we're working right, has been DEL deleted, del, from the sentence, and this text has been inserted. Let's see what happens. Okay, the deleted is a strike through, and this used to be called strike through, and it's been a while, so some of the tags have changed, and this is basically underlined. The old way of doing that would have been with just a U. Let's see if that may still work. Underlined. And the reason I'm showing you this, even though it's not appropriate anymore, is because if you go out there on the web and maybe find some old code and you're trying to look at, you know, well, what's that U mean? What's that U mean? And it might not say underlined. So we want to make sure you get a look at everything possible. Yeah, still works, and it may be being used by other people. And I think that the strike through still works, but I guess we could give it a quick try. See if this still works. Let's see if I just change this to strike, which it may not even be the right tag because it's been so long for me on some of the older ones. But let's see if it does. And sure enough, it still strikes through. And, you know, like I said, the reason I do that is because that way, if you're viewing source on a page, have I not shown you that? Let's go ahead and do that real quick since we have a moment. Let's find a page. Let's say, let's go to something that might open pretty quick. www.amazon. If you look at this, if you go ahead and find an open space that doesn't have a clickable spot on one of these pages, like for example right here, and you right click it and you say view page source, you will see how this page was written. Okay, it's doc type HTML, script type is all text JavaScript, and there's a lot of other code that's in here. And this is just a piece of this page. This is not the whole page. So we can kind of look at it real quick, and don't get all frustrated. These things are a lot easier than you think. It may look like a couple thousand lines of code, but most of these things are just stuff that once they're done, they're reused, they're reused, they're reused, and not hard at all to work with. Okay, I think that's enough for today. I hope you rejoin us for Lesson 7, and I hope you learned a little bit about text formatting today. Have a good day. Thank you.